Guys, what a week it's been from start to finish. You know, we're coming up to game week 314 this weekend as we record. It's Thursday. But over the last 5 or 6 days, it's been absolutely pandemonium for me here in the Sorare TV studios. Over last weekend, we had a bloodbath of DNPs basically cripple the whole outing, the whole weekend. It was terrible. But then we rocked into the midweek. Harry Trades came to Glasgow. Harry Trades was in the Sorare TV studios, and we went, courtesy of Sorare, to see the Champions League fixture, Celtic hosting RB Leipzig. And again, I was geared up for a really big midweek. You know, the disco lights were on. We were in the hospitality section. Teams were picked. I gambled on Jota. And again, like the weekend, the DNPs and the result itself just totally ruined the game week for me as well. Again, we had a great time at Celtic Park and great hospitality from everyone that was there. And thanks again to Sorare for sorting that out for us. And then on top of that, Sorare TV's got its first new series out this week as well, Looking Up with Laird. Make sure to check that out if you haven't. As well as a bumper episode of the End Product Podcast that'll be out tomorrow. Make sure to check out Sorare TV or anywhere you listen to the End Product Podcast. That'll be out first thing tomorrow morning for you. Great episode, had a lot of fun. And I've done some trades this week as well. I've brought in super rare Craig Gordon, and last night I was a wee bit, let's say I wasn't myself, but I was motivated to do a trade, and I found the trade I was looking for. I dealt with the devil, Pavel Trader, to bring in a super rare Snodgrass. So we've got some fun stuff to do for this game week. There's still a lot of question marks around Celtic. If you're here for a Celtic predicted 11, that will be exclusively like a TikTok thing that I'm doing. So follow me on TikTok at Quinny3001. There's uploads there all the time of Sorare stuff, player profiles, all that kind of stuff. But if you're after Celtic predicted 11s, they'll go out on a Thursday on the TikTok. So go and check that out if that's what you're here for. In the video today, I'll be building some lineups. I'll be examining the prize pools. I'll be doing all the usual stuff I would normally do on a stream, but we're going to do a nice little condensed video today. At any point in the video, if you do laugh, you learn, you like something or whatever, please do like and subscribe, share, retweet, all the good stuff, guys. Stay out of trouble, and let's get stuck into it. Now, tomorrow there will be a members stream and we'll be doing a massive giveaway. We've got 4 cards to give away for the members that have been successfully picking the FC Barcelona Foundation lineups, and we've been bagging rewards. We picked up a Sven Mignan in the midweek, and we picked up Carlo Bartolek last weekend. So we've got 2 additional prizes. We're still waiting on somebody claiming the Yanni Atanasov and recently donated prize Yasin Ayub will also be given away. So we'll have 3 cards fresh to give away on Friday stream tomorrow. If you're interested in becoming a member, if you're interested in joining the streams where I build your lineups, I review your gallery, we just talk about Sorare, we just get into all that good stuff. Maybe you want to come into a Telegram group where we're talking about trades and transfers and team news and all that good stuff. All the details of how to get involved in that. There's a link in the description for the FC Barcelona Foundation. It's a YouTube membership, and it's £1 a month or £2 a month. You don't give me your phone number, you don't give me any of your bank details or anything of that caper. We do a stream once a week, we give away prizes when we win stuff, we have a good time, and we all play the game together. Hashtag own your game and all that fun. But so we've got an FC Barcelona Foundation giveaway tomorrow. But coming into this actual game week, because of the new cards I've brought in and because of my obvious deficiencies that I've got, examining the prize pools, prioritizing where the weak links might be, where the big teams might not be looking, where the big cards might not be deployed, is of the utmost importance to me. Now, as I listen to content from all across the world, I'm hearing people say the same things that I'm saying. The Under 23 Pro is just far too hard for such a shallow prize pool, and subsequently we're feeling a lot of U23 Pro players that were periphery players who wouldn't get into the prize pools anyway, are now disbanding teams and reorganising them and reappropriating them into All-Stars, into Challengers, Champions, Americas, Asias, all that kind of stuff. So I actually think if you have an OP U23 stack, you know, there might be a week or two where the competition strength goes down. If previously you found that, oh Jesus, my 370 wasn't getting anywhere, you know, maybe that is going to change over the next few weeks. So if you do have if you do have a strong U23 lineup, I think the Pro and the Rare divisions might be there to be had, because we are missing some key players from the fixture list this week across Challenger Europe, and with all the domestic with all the midweek Champions League, Europa League and Conference League stuff, a lot of big champion guys, a lot of young players will be rotated and rested throughout this week. So I do feel that there's a great opportunity to be had if you believe that normally you've got a strong U23 team and it wasn't pulling prizes. this week or next weekend might be a great opportunity for you to snatch at. But for me personally, as I'm looking at all these kind of competitions fill out and whatever, the big prizes I'm looking at, I've got injuries to my uniques, which mean my super rares are still as viable, but the competing at D2 thing just becomes a little bit less plausible, although not entirely implausible. Subsequently, that means my specialist super went top of my priorities list. That full unique podium, Stish Plastician, my co-host on the End Product podcast, was so close himself to bagging out big time on this prize pool, and I'm hoping I can emulate and maybe even surpass Stish's score from the midweek. And the team I've managed to pick is a doozy. We've went with Viviano in goals, who's got a fantastic fixture. Rio Hatate and Enes Unal are almost nailed on starters and can get decisives and can get good AAs for their positions. And then at L15 under 40s, Dudu Haidara started the last 2 matches for Leipzig, scoring very impressively. I expect that to continue at the weekend. And Yangel Herrera started last weekend, made his return from injury, and I would expect him to start this weekend also for Girona. So I think across the fixtures these guys have got and the scores they can all get, I can easily theorise in my mind I can get around the 350 plus points on raw score. And if we can get in amongst that with the way some of the matches will be done, and there won't be many super rare holding galleries that I've put, and again, I don't know how much what priority picks are really here. Is it Viviano? Unal's just super safe because all my Celtic guys are so sketchy now. So I'm hoping I can have a little bit of a differential advantage in there, I have went strong in Challenger because, again, for similar reasons, as I said about U23, so I do feel some of the Challenger strength has went down. I submitted my team for this earlier, and entries were around the 70 mark. Now we're at 90, with there being circa 27 prizes. I think it's just a great ratio on the prize pool itself. And that's one thing I've been pushing my gallery towards over the last 3 months, to try and get into the higher ground, get into the higher scarcities. And it feels like now, thanks to the inclusion of the Snodgrass and like the Gordon, for example, having the 3 super rare keepers that I've now got and some of the options that are now dotted around the club, I can put out really good teams across this. Now, these are blue cards. Maybe they don't excite you. Maybe you only play with golds. But these growing pains I'm going through at this level of my gallery, I've did before with rares. You'll be doing the same thing now with limiteds. It's all applicable. It's all scalable depending on what you're doing with your gallery at the moment. When it comes to limiteds, again, the prize pools are just getting bigger and deeper, and it's just about where do you think your best guys are and how can you possibly maximise them. And for me, again, it's about specialist limited. That star rare top 5, that tier 1 for top 25, that elusive prize that I've been chasing and not getting anywhere near, I am going after again. And this might be one of my best shots at it. Now, my 2 L15 under 40s are Hebert, who's been L15 under 40 for his whole life, and Hong Chung, who I won last week. Stish tells me this guy's a bit of a party animal in Ibiza, and then in the midweek he rocked in an 80 and he's worth like 50p or something. So I thought, it feels written in the stars. Let's put Hong Chung in here. Dzeko and Goretzka, great fixtures. King Lampy, you know all about him. Hebert should start with Magno having whatever has happened to his arm. I've not even investigated, but I don't expect him to play. Hebert should start. And then maybe this has got a good puncher's chance of getting in amongst those rare prizes. But with it being a new division and with it being very, but with it being a new region, with it being a new division and the way that the auctions and the prize distribution, etc. is rolling out at the moment, Second Division Europe is one that is being overlooked greatly for the region itself. Of course, people are looking at the cards because of the fixtures they offer to maybe play into under 23s, into global or into specialist if you're thinking about limiteds. But not many people are looking at this Europe Second Division region as a region to dine out at, is to be something that gets included in your staple diet, something that gets included in your repertoire of divisions you play. Now, at the moment, there is only 75 cards available, which, as far as regions go, isn't actually too bad. In the Pro, we're down at 12, which is pretty shocking. But when you look at 6 to 8 entrants in the Pro and 207 in the Rare. Now, what's actually in these prize pools now, right? We will discover over time. Bundesliga 2, League 2, Championship clubs, whatever, right? But I've got no doubt in my mind that these divisions will have an opportunity for you to go into and pull some exciting prizes out of them with relatively modest scores, because there is such a bottleneck on how many full fives are actually getting out there. All this 207, I would probably guess half are full fives, maybe 3/4. and you might get a random suspected DNP, or this guy might be on the bench, or a known DNP goalkeeper in some cases because of the price of them. And particularly when you get into the pro segment for this, out of these 68 players, how many of them are running with two supers that will definitely be playing, and how many of them are not Saint Etienne? So I think this region, if you have anything that could compete in it, depending on what that anything actually is, could be something worth going after. I'm quite excited about going after it in Limited because of the cards I've got for Specialist over the World Cup period. That's my strategy with these guys. But building them out, I think I've got a strong kind of 5, and some of the fixtures I've got Simeone suspended and whatever, blah, 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 whatever. But if with these guys, I can start to accrue championship players, like guys from Burnley and Coventry and, any other clubs that come thereafter, as well as St. Pauli, a team that I want to follow in Bundesliga too. And then anything else that just is interesting, a Moliero type, a wonder kid, or maybe an aging guy that's turned up but is scoring powerfully like a Vieira. I'm open to pulling those cards in here because I would approach them the exact same ways I would an Asian card, an American card, and any other region. And because there is going to be a bit of Sorare snobbery around this division, it will be slept on for the longest time. Probably, it's partly slept on, right, because the cards are expensive because they do have that fixture. They do have that fixture list that gets you over the winter period. And then as soon as that kicks back a bit, there probably will be a little price correction, which I'm personally worried about, which is why I've not bought any rares. But then there will be the downward correction and then the re correction when it is a region, it is buffed out more with more licensed clubs, more prizes, better prizes when you see the kind of calibre of maybe some of the youth prospects that are there, or as well as some of the big just SO5 hitting players, as it were. And I think that's a region that will go through a few ebbs and flows for better and for worse over the next 6 months. And depending on when you time your entry and how hard you go at winning stuff, maybe while the going's good, that could be a region you could really make your home and you could really make a good stab at. So if that's not something you've been thinking about, and you're maybe thinking Challenger's still too competitive and under 23 so expensive and Champions just a madman's game, then maybe that's a region that can be identified for one and all. And me going into this game week, although I don't have rare or rare pro entries, I'm looking at those counts and I'm thinking, geez man, if I had some of these other guys, and we spoke before about some of these guys will be coming out of under 23s, like Muric, Harwood Bellis's, Nunez's, Zion Fleming's. Could be a few of those kind of guys, for example, as well as any guys that have been picked up from these releases of these divisions. But those guys could maybe formulate a solid second division Europe team that, and again, if you're going to get, there's only 1 star, which is pretty rotten, right? But again, if you were to get a tier 1, you're getting ETH as well if you hit podium. Winning's winning, and if your second division rare, your second division rare pro aggregated 5 score is going to be 370 points, but you're going to break that up, cover it across 3 teams. Maybe those 3 teams win nothing, and that one team would have won a tier 2 or a tier 1 out of this region. Yeah, you might be turning your nose up at it, but something's better than nothing. That's kind of my attitude on this kind of thing. For the big team this week, right, I don't have the unique Calmac. I don't think I'm going to risk unique Mulgrew until I see him back on the pitch again. So the Kyogo is one of my best cards. I've got to prioritise my best cards in my best team, which is this one, as I always do at FC Barcelona. But I'm also in this really sticky position of wanting to have full Celtic teams and teams that are maybe then not touched by Celtic at all, just in case there is some random Ange roulette kind of stuff on the go or whatever. But I think Kyogo is really safe. Now, I am hearing some people saying he's rubbish and don't play him and all the rest of it, which is nonsense. But he DNP'd last weekend to save him for Leipzig. He came off after 60, 70 minutes. This is against Hibs. It's a big game. I don't see Kyogo. Maybe he does start Giakoumakis again, so I do. Maybe he plays the same team as he did last weekend. I wouldn't really be too surprised by that if in reality it happened. But the fact that the following midweek, it isn't Europe, it's a cup game, I think that's a game where we get Bernabeu at left back and Moy and Abelgard start and Mo Forrest will start and that kind of stuff, which then makes me think Kyogo's got to be in. Of course he does. But then he didn't start last week and Giakoumakis did, and we still did play okay, but there's no Jota. So I'm wrestling with all this stuff, but I think this is just about the safest strong team that I can make into this prize pool. 20-star rares. We've always got to be fighting for top 50, top 100 with the submission we're making. That's what we've got to be aiming for. And I think this team does it. If Kyogo starts, Sensei's got a good fixture away from home, so he should be getting a lot of defensive actions as well as the attacking ones. Santi should be the main man for NYC in the absence of Magno. THB, you know all about him. Sean Johnson, you know all about him too. I'll get the rest of the Celtic cards with the rare Snodgrass as captain into Challenger and just hope that they go and bang. And again, if this team kind of falls down, like I will be annoyed, of course, but none of these guys necessarily been involved in my big #1 priority divisions. It feels like a safe entry. And then the last kind of big rare team that we end up with is an all-star rare, and we're just going for Big Eve and trying to pull a big card. Again, I'm putting Kyogo in here. I'm just going for him. I just think he's more likely to play and do something than not. Castellanos, good fixture. Tanaka, Guardiola, Oblak, all fixtures that could score them some good AA points. Based on all the advanced statistics from the pro version on Sorare data, this is the Challenger Europe limited lineup that I would make for the FC Barcelona Foundation. Now that team is entirely up to you, what team that we submit, and then any prizes it wins will be given away to you guys. How you do that is you go to me, Quinny, FC Barcelona on Sorare data, hit my lineup builder, and then you build the Challenger limited team. I will then see by popular vote who the most selected players are, and then from there we pick the most popular picked team, and then if it wins any prizes, they're all for you guys. So make sure to jump over to Sorare Data, get those lineups built before we do the community live stream tomorrow. We'll be doing that after deadline. So I'll be submitting the team before deadline, so make sure you do that as soon as possible. Good luck to everyone this game week. Thanks a lot for tuning into the videos. And yeah, stay tuned for much more to come. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and retweet, and all that good stuff. Follow me on TikTok, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.